I have this weird obsession. I am a big sports fan. Well, not a big sports fan, but I like soccer, I like basketball, or football for you people over the across the pond. And one thing that I love doing is I love seeing dysfunctional teams. And one thing that I do all the time when I see dysfunctional teams is I think, if I were in that group, how could I show leadership to this team that would elevate their experience and make them play better? I think about this with coaching all the time because I love coaching. I coach soccer and I coach basketball. And one thing that I think with this all the time is that how can I become a better coach? How can I lead a team when they are in the dregs and when they're down and when they have, no hope that they're going to win a game or no hope that they're even going to have a successful season? That's why Ted Lasso is one of my favorite shows, because he has just a totally different style of coaching than most coaches. And it's just how that works. And it's just the psychology of coaching and really the psychology of leadership. And every once in a while when I'm reading a book, it seems like, especially right now, I'm reading Lord of the Rings. It seems like the author kind of just steps out and just whispers something into your ear that you need to hear at that exact moment. And this is one of those moments where I was just kind of pondering and thinking about in my head what it really means to be a real leader. And what are the greatest attributes of leadership and what are the greatest qualities of leadership? And there's a moment with Aragorn when he's leading about 6,000 men to the Black Gate. Now, this journey from the Black Gate to Minas Tirith, or from Minas Tirith to the Black Gate, it takes about a week. And when they're on their way in the journey, there are all these Nazgul flying overhead. So this is it's like, I guess, almost like you can compare it to the Indiana Hoosiers. They're like going up against this terrible, huge team that they're nervous of, and they've never played this game before. And so Aragorn, with 6,000 men, they're going to the Black Gate, and they're outnumbered 10-1. Maybe even more than that. They're maybe outnumbered 20-1. And Mordor has forces that are just going to annihilate them. But they're going essentially to draw Sauron's eye away from Frodo so that Frodo can destroy the ring. And while they're on the way to the Black Gate, there's these Nazgul that are flying overhead. They're walking through these dead lands. And they're walking through this just complete desolate place where there's fear all around them. So there's fear in the sky, there's fear in the ground, and there's fear in the air. Everywhere they go, there's this sense of dread and this sense of fear. And the book has a few sentences and paragraphs that I just want to read that talk about this mood that they're giving right here. The book says, "So time and the hopeless journey wore away. Upon the 4th day from the crossroads and the 6th from Minas Tirith, they came at last to the end of the living lands, and began to pass into desolation that lay before the gates of the pass of Cirith Gorgor. And they could descry the marshes and the desert that stretched north and west to the Emmenmuil. So desolate were those places, and so deep the horror that lay on them, that some of their host were unmanned, and could neither walk nor ride further north." Now, this is when the really good bit comes, because there's men right now who are so terrified that they don't even know what to do. And I think if we've been in leadership, all of us have moments like that, where we see people around us who are so scared of doing something that they just freeze with terror. And this is Aragorn's response, and this is a response of a good leader. Aragorn looked at them, and there was pity in his eyes, rather than wrath. For these were young men from Rohan from Westfold far away, or husbandmen from Lossarnac, and to them Mordor had been from childhood a name of evil and yet unreal, a legend that had no part in their simple life, and now they walk like men in a hideous dream made true. And they understood not this war, nor why fate should lead them to such a pass. And so Aragorn sees their life and sees what's happening, and he understands what they're going through, and so he has pity on them rather than wrath. And then this part is really even more crazy. He says, "Go," said Aragorn, "but keep what honor you may, and do not run. And there is a task which you may attempt, and so not be wholly shamed. Take your way southwest till you come to Cair Andros, and if it is still held by enemies, as I think, then retake it if you can, and hold it to the last in defense of Gondor and Rohan." And so he's giving these people a task to do. He's saying, you're frozen with fear in this moment. I'm dismissing you, but if you don't want to have all, this honor and you don't want to feel all the shame, then go do another job that's more within the realm of what you can actually do. And this is the response of the men. Then some, being shamed by his mercy, overcame their fear and went on. And others took new hope. hearing of a manful deed within their measure so that they could turn to, and they departed. And so this is the incredible moment of Aragorn right here. And this is what real leadership looks like. When everyone is terrified, when the world is freaking out, when the people that you are leading are so scared that they're unable to move. It's having compassion and mercy that is the real game changer here. I think this is something that I think I'm learning more and more as I'm looking at the story of Aragorn. Aragorn, by his birthright, is king. He deserves to be the king of Gondor. He is the next in line, or he's not even the next in line. He is the one in line. He is the person who should be ruling Gondor. But for J.R.R. Tolkien, Aragorn is not king because of his birthright. Aragorn is king because of the way he leads. Because he leads with compassion. Because he leads with a healing hand. Because he leads with pity. And because he leads with mercy. To me, this is what Tolkien is trying to communicate about what a leader really and truly is. Aragorn, yes, has strength and might and courage and bravery. But he also has compassion and pity and mercy and love. And to me, it is these things that make a great leader.